producer from Bilbao, Spain. And this is my first tutorial, actually my first tutorial. So in this tutorial I will show you how we made actually, because this is a collaboration together with michaelace that it's on Polarix Records. So if you are interested on check it out, I will link it down in the description. Also the link to the socials of my brother michaelace, so you can check him out. He is a very talented producer from Morocco. We teamed up to make this record, and this is how we made it. He works in FL Studio, so we have to work with the stems, and this is the 12th version, right? The Ableton 12 version. And as you can see, I work with groups, right? So this is a pretty interesting way to work, because you keep the project organized and you don't lost on it, right? So it's pretty cool to work like that, so you know where it's the files and all this stuff. Okay, so as you can see, I separated like this. So let's get started with one of the most important things about EDM tracks, that is the low end, the kick and the bass. So we are starting with this intro loop right here, intro kick, sorry, that is nothing that complicated, you know. It's only a kick, a techno kick with a low pass here. As you can see, sounds like this, like to have the intro part cutting the bass, right? So the DJs can mix it well. And we continue with the next phase or phrase of the intro with the main kick, right? The main kick that sounds like this, has a bit of EQ, a side cut, then a mid soft here, and the mid cut right here, and the mid boost a bit over the 140 hertz, right? So here we have it. Then it's layered with the top kick that sounds like this, nothing on it. This is the actual intro, that is pretty simple. We have it some drums over here, nothing comes, that is here making the group of the track. So let's get straight on the drop, and then we will see the breakdown on the build up, right? So if we go straight to the drop, one of the most important thing about this track, that is the bass, is not a pretty standard bass. That's why I worked really hard on this bass, you know, to make it more interesting and stand out. This is called Monsters Under Me, right? I want to give it that feeling that is monster playing during the whole track, right? And this bass kind of simulates that. So one by one, this bass sounds like this. This is the high frequency layer. This is more than of a mid bass layer. It's no processing at all. This is I didn't process because that didn't need it, to be honest. No processing. Well, in the group I did process actually. So we have a glue compressor that is acting just a tiny bit, just a touch to glue it a bit more, and we have a low cut, right? Because the kick is having that rumble sub frequencies that we don't want in here. Also set on 200 to make it more mono compatible, right? So as I wanted to the song progressed, you know, during the track, I added these two more basses, right? This is from automation purpose for the intro. As you can see, low cuts. So a low cut cutting out in the beginning of on the intro. Well, the build up actually, not the intro, the build up. So you can see it right here. So we I'm going to show you the other part of the important part of the drop, right? That is the vocal that is here, the vocal chops that made a really difference, right? So this is the vocal chops are here, right? And there is nothing on it, to be honest, only a NICU and distortion, that is the decapitator, and we have the out filter for automation purpose, right? Here on the build-up as well, the song progressed, so here in this build-up is nothing, and in this build-up it appears again. So that is here. So as you can see, and I wanted to make something different, right? These main stage records had this typical supercell moment, typical synth stack moment, the climax, you know, the breakdowns, but we wanted to make, I had an idea also to make it that a moment with a vocoder, that it's with the vocal, that this is the main vocal as you can hear, and this is the vocoder itself following a melody, and we kind of have the background elements with the pads and all this stuff that is here, that michaelace did a really nice job on it to give it a more atmospheric and cinematic feeling to the track. So it's here. This is the pad section, so no processing at all, just an EQ, basic EQ and all these things. And this is the ARP that is playing on the break, right? So this is one of the most important part of the track. I think that made it stand out a bit more than the rest, together with that basis of the drop. So we move forward to the instruments section. We are going to look at the drop synths. We have some layers. We start with this layer that is here, like attack lead, no process at all. This one, another attack lead. This is the main lead one. Main lead 2, that is more wide, that is covering more of the side frequencies, and another one. No process at all, just in the group. Okay, we process with 2 spectres. Okay, so it's basically the same one, right? Then some soothe to clean up a bit the sounds that were a bit muddy, right? Then we used an OTT, creative feeling. I love to use OTT, cutting a bit this resonance, this side resonance that was a bit hurting the ears, and then a high self to give it more grooves, right? We have here the sense of the reverb and the delay, right? That it's art acoustics, and the delay I'm using H delay, right? And then an utility for automation purposes for the build up and the build up again, right? So these are the leads together with the bass and the vocal and the drums, that is right here, and the kick, well, the low end part and the bass sounds like this. So it's this beat is still empty, because we don't have the effects added. So the effects are really important part of the drop as well, because fill up the gaps and the frequency spectrum. This is the drop effect, you know. So give me one moment. This is the drop effects that sound like this. So pretty simple, risers, a bit of sweeps right here, then crowd effects, and here we don't have display. Well, and then on the break I think we don't have nothing playing. Right, that's right. So these are the effects of the drop. Pretty simple, pretty standard, and this way we didn't complicate it on that. And we have it here some extra sounds that you can listen right here, that more support leads, right? Just like a Hoover lead on energy leads, another super lead. Didn't show you these super leads as well that we added. Sounds like this together. And then a basic stuff. Another effect here, laser. And for the synths part is done. We move it to for the drums, right? And it's right here. So the drums sounds like this. These are the low drums. Pretty interesting. This I like to add that group claps that here in the background. Make the, like as I call it, is group claps to add more group basically to the song. And some percussion. For the high end, pretty standard. Just some hi-hats and some rides, some shakers, and nothing more, to be honest. This is the wrist bass, right? The wrist bass is pretty basic with some EQ, right? And I would like to show you the master. Well, I will show you what I use. It's pretty simple. I'm using this plugin to make it more mono compatible. Then I'm using an space control, right? This is the plugin that I'm using to control the stereo image of the track. Then I'm using an EQ, right? EQ to cut some resonances, some high-end, high side gain, right? To make it more wide in the high frequencies, a low cut on 25 Hertz. Then this EQ. Then I use a glue compressor to glue it more together in the master. Then a bit of soothe, this just a tiny touch on the low end frequencies, and this is and then I'm boosting here again, and this is a cool fuzz. This is an let's say an automatic EQ, okay, that is reducing and boosting the frequencies selected here. It's pretty cool plugin. It's very CPU handle, so be careful with that. Another spectre, right, boost. And for the limiting and clipping, I'm using these plugins that are the T-Rex Classic Clipper and the have to show you anything else. And you hope you like it. You can check it out, the Polarix records, so you can check it out if you want to. Me as well, you have a lot of more music. And for this tutorial I think is over, so please like it if you like it, and subscribe if you are not subscribed, and we will see you, or I will see you, better say, in the next video. Bye bye.